Good evening, everybody. So we got a cool one today. I know I always say that, but it's true. I've run into this a couple times, but it's not very common. Don't mind the busted behind us. I know we're cutting J model front ends off, but that's not what we're talking about. But anyway, so customer complaint is this: the bus is losing coolant, and he has an air leak. And that's all the information that I got. I just put it over the pit. I was under the pit just kind of looking at things, and then all of a sudden the air dryer purged. And then what I smelt is what we're going to talk about. So come with me, I'll take you in the pit and we'll take a look at it. Today we're working on a 2010 D4505. So come with me in the pit so you guys can see what I saw. But we're going to stand back this time so I don't take a shower. Alright, so we're going to watch that air dryer right there. We're going to back up and I'm going to zoom in. Oh wait, nope, wrong button. Now we gotta wait for it to purge. Any second now, it's gonna scare us both. I've been working on buses 20-something years, and every time one of these pops off and I'm not paying attention, it always scares the crap out of me. Told you. Alright, you see all that? Probably horrible for me to breathe that. But that wasn't water. That was coolant. I don't know if you can look, but that is coolant coming out. And I bet if you notice, we've got a brand, this customer just purchased this bus. So they got a brand new air dryer, and we've got brand new tank drains that I'm sure if I pull, we get coolant out of them. That's coolant. And you can see that. That's coolant. This one too. Let's pull it. I can show you. If I can get my hand on it. That's more coolant. The entire air system, everything is completely full of coolant. I am going to be shocked on how much coolant we get out of the air tanks. That is not good. And this bus has a ZF transmission in it. By far the worst transmission. Don't ever buy a bus with a ZF transmission. I don't care. There's always one driver out there that says the ZF transmission is the best transmission that they put in buses. It's not. It's really not. It's the worst. Class action lawsuits. When the dealership is taking buses back and transplanting new transmissions in there, ZF is not a good transmission. So, but I'm telling you, if you buy one, it's going to be a big mistake. But anyway, that means the clutch actuators, the easy start system, all the pressure protection valves, anything that is air related has coolant in it. And that is not good. That is not a good day. I'm gonna pull the bus on the pit a little further and we're gonna check the rear. I'm gonna see how much coolant we get out of the back of the bus. So hang tight. Let's get a nice hooking apparatus, like a hook, so that I can drain the tanks without taking a shower. Let's hit this tank right here first. Ready? Alright, let's hit this tank. Yeah, we're gonna get a lot out. Not as bad as I thought it was gonna be. We got some coolant out of the back tanks, but the front tanks We're super, sorry, I got distracted because I've noticed it looks like somebody's jacking up on the radius rods. You shouldn't do that. Don't do that, please. Don't be that guy. Anyway, out of the front tanks are slam full of coolant. These two back tanks weren't bad. It definitely had a lot of coolant in it, but not as bad as I really thought it was going to be. Now we've got to go on the hunt. Okay, so let's look at the diagram together. I have a suspicion that it's the compressor, because if you come back here to the engine and we look, so this is the rear of the coach. So if we come back here to the engine, follow this green line all the way back to 58. 58 is what? The ping tank. So that's the first tank. I bet we'll get a bunch out of that ping tank. We'll look at that in a second. And then number 6 is the compressor. As you come up here, if you look at the top, oh, can we zoom in? Let's see, zoom. Number 6 is the compressor. So if we come here and we look at this diagram, can y'all see? Let me scroll it over. Whoop. So from here, number 6, right there, it comes out of the compressor. It goes through the ping tank, which before we get off this video, I'm gonna drain the ping tank, which you should be doing daily. So it comes out of the ping tank and you follow the green line. Green line is the primary air circuit. It comes up and it comes this way. Then it comes up here, goes all the way to the front of the bus. So follow my mouse, here it is. Comes all the way this way, comes up to the front of the bus and into that air dryer that we just looked at. So let me zoom in. There's the air dryer. Then it comes out of the air dryer. As you can see, that's the governor that tells the dryer when to purge. Comes out of the air dryer through another filter. It's supposed to be like a water separator filter that you can kind of fill up with like alcohol if you wanted to. And it comes up and it goes to that front tank, that primary tank. That's why that primary tank was so full of water, because the air dryer has reached maximum capacity. It can't dry the air. It's completely junk. It has to be replaced now, which is an expensive feat. It's over $1,000. And it goes into that tank. And then from there, it goes to the rear tanks. You see right there in front of the wheels. And then from there, it goes through all the systems. So you're looking at anything green. Let me back up. Anything green is on the primary system. So out of that tank that we just looked at right here, you can see my mouse, whoop, out of that tank, it goes, feeds the supply. That's the supply and the primary system. So it feeds everything else on here that is green. So everything that is green at bare minimum is contaminated with coolant, which is a problem. So let's come back here to the back of the bus and we'll see how much coolant we get out of the ping tank. And this is your ping tank purge. And if you see what it says right there, it says drain daily. But it probably hasn't been drained in like 4 years. And as we can see, that, my friend, is coolant. So let me get a bucket. We got a bucket. Now, that is coolant. So that means it has to be being pumped directly out of the compressor, because as you see, so if you look at this line right here, you follow that line, which is the main discharge line off the compressor. That line comes, follow it behind the toilet valve, and it comes up and it goes around and it goes into the tank that says drain daily. So if the customer would have drained that ping tank daily like he should have been, he would have figured out that there's coolant in there. But at this point, he's been running it so long with coolant in there, we've got way more damage potential than if he would have noticed like a drip of coolant and stopped using it at that point. So unfortunately, we're gonna have to pull the engine air compressor off and kind of go into it and see what we can do to fix it. We're probably gonna have to replace that compressor. We're probably gonna have to flush the entire air system. We're gonna have to drain all the tanks. We're going to have to run the coach. We're gonna have to run it for hours, drain the tanks. There's a lot of different things that we're gonna have to do to flush the system out. We're gonna have to take lines off and blow them out. We're gonna have to check a lot of valves. This is a big problem, a potential very expensive problem. That's why I make some of these videos, not to be cocky or be, mean or anything like that about draining the tank daily, but knowing your equipment, knowing your bus, even if you have, we have a lot of customers that are Featherlight, Prevo, MCI, older MCI, MC9, MC5, we have a lot of customers from all the way from the 40s all the way up to brand new coaches. And some things can be caught early before that checkbook starts adding up. And this is one of those things, drip, drip. Then he said, oh no, why is there red stuff coming out of my ping tank? Let me call. Somebody calls me and they say, hey, why is there red stuff coming out of my ping tank? And then I would have said, stop driving it or drive it directly here, nowhere else. And then we could address it before we have this major air system problem. So anyway, know your bus, know your equipment, do your daily things. I mean, that's super easy to do. I mean, you open the door, just literally open the valve for a second, close it, and that can be one of your pre-trip inspections. A lot of people check the oil, check the coolant, come back here, check the oil, check the coolant, open the ping tank, and you're good to go. We may make a part 2 to this. Once I start pulling stuff off, I pull the compressor off, we may tear that compressor apart, see what failed in it. Does it have a blown head gasket? Does it have a crack in the head? What's wrong with it? I'd be interested to see what failed on it. This is not a common thing that we deal with. So when it's not common, I like to figure out why it's doing it so that I can either fix it in-house or, we can rebuild it in-house, or if we have to buy another reman compressor, we can. A lot of times that stuff's super expensive. So if we can save the customer money, that's the route that I like to go, especially on a big ticket item like this. So thanks for watching. If you enjoy it, like, subscribe, and maybe we'll have a part 2 to this. Appreciate it, guys. Thanks for watching.